What we know about Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill's detainment by police. Police release video of NFL star Tyreek Hill being detained after traffic stop on the way to the stadium. Miami-Dade police on Monday released body camera footage of officers detaining Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill in the hours before the wide receiver played in Sunday's opening game of the season. It's been an eventful few days for Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill, who was detained by police ahead of his team's opening game of the season on Sunday. Hill was detained just hours before taking to the field against the Jacksonville Jaguars for what his agent called a moving violation. Police released footage of the incident on Monday night. The wide receiver, who went on to score an 80-yard touchdown in the 20-17 comeback win against the Jaguars, later said that he was still confused by his pregame encounter with police. After his touchdown against the Jaguars, Hill put his arms behind his back with his wrists together and after being placed in handcuffs earlier in the day. Here's what we know about Hill's detention before the game on Sunday. Body camera footage shows Hill being pulled from his car. The Miami-Dade Police Department, MDPD, released body-worn camera footage from the incident unexpectedly on Monday night. While standard protocol is to release body cam footage after the internal review has concluded, the available body cam footage, a combined 105 minutes 33 seconds, is being released the day following the incident to reinforce the department's commitment to keeping the public informed, Director Stephanie V. Daniels of the police department said in a statement. The footage shows a police officer approaching Hill's car and knocking on the window after he signaled for Hill to pull over. Hill rolls down the window when the officer knocks and replies, "Hey, don't knock on my window like that." The officer asks Hill why he doesn't have a seatbelt on. Hill doesn't answer and repeatedly says, "Don't knock on my window like that." The officer asks why Hill had his window up and says he had to knock to let Hill know he was there. "Give me my ticket, bro, so I can go, I'm going to be late." "Do what you got to do," Hill said before rolling up the window. The officer tells him to keep his window down and knocks again, but Hill doesn't appear to respond. The officer knocks again and tells Hill to keep his window down. Hill rolls down his window slightly and responds, "Don't tell me what to do." The officer threatens to make Hill get out of the car if he doesn't keep the window down, and then immediately after orders him out. Another officer opens Hill's car door and starts to pull him out of the car, saying, "Get out." While Hill responds, "I'm getting out." Two officers are seen pushing Hill to the ground while another officer stands over. Hill is heard saying, "I'm getting arrested" multiple times, and the one officer physically restraining him says, "When we tell you to do something, you do it. You understand? You understand? Not what you want, but what we tell you. You're a little effing confused." Hill is heard saying, I'm getting out," and the same officer says, "Too late. All right, bro, take me to jail, bro, do what you gotta do," Hill says. "We will," the officer responds. The time from when the officer first knocks on Hill's window to when he is fully handcuffed on the ground is around a minute and a half. The officers then move Hill to his feet and have him sit on the sidewalk. As an officer slowly leads him to sit on the ground, Hill says, "Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee." As he is speaking, another officer comes behind him and puts an arm around his chest. He begins to pull Hill toward the ground as Hill repeats, "I just had surgery on my knee." The restraining officer says, "Really, what a coincidence. Did you have surgery on your ears when we told you to put the window down? Bro, chill." Hill yells. Hill tells CNN he's still in shock. Hill spoke with CNN's Caitlin Collins on Monday, saying everything happened very fast. "I was following rules, I wasn't moving fast because I got injuries, I got things that I go through. I play a physical sport, I've been doing this for a moment now, man, so I'm dealing with some stuff, so I guess the officers, they felt like I wasn't doing it on their timing. I was doing it, but I'm still kind of shell-shocked from it," Hill said. "I'm embarrassed." Hill further reflected on the moment that things escalated, saying that it started when officers asked him to roll down his window. "When the officer came up and knocked on my window, I let my window down, cooperated, gave them my ID, then I immediately let up my window, and then after that I let back up my window, and then he came back to the window and was like, 'Let your window down now, let your window down now,' and then I let it down," Hill said. "I'm not trying to cause a scene because if I let my window down, people walking by, driving by, they're going to notice that it's me and they're going to start taking pictures. I didn't want to create a scene at all, I just really wanted to get the ticket and then just go out about my way and have a great Sunday." The 30-year-old was asked about an earlier quote office about how the situation could have unfolded differently if he wasn't Tyreek Hill. "The reality of it is, it's the truth. If I wasn't Tyreek Hill, worst case scenario, we would have had a different article. Tyreek Hill got shot in front of Hard Rock Stadium, that's worst case scenario," Hill said. "It's crazy that me and my family had to go through this." Officer put on administrative duties. Daniels said that an investigation had begun into the incident, adding that one of the officers involved has been placed on administrative duties. "Following the incident involving Tyreek Hill, I have initiated an internal affairs investigation to ensure a thorough review of the matter. One of the officers involved in the incident has been placed on administrative duties while the investigation is conducted," Daniels said in a statement. "I'm committed to transparency and accountability to the community with any situation involving my officers." Hill's agent Drew Rosenhaus described the incident as heartbreaking, upsetting and uncalled for, saying he was in disbelief about what took place ahead of the game. "Tyreek was just trying to get to work, trying to play a game, just trying to do his job," Rosenhaus said on CNN News Central. "For police officers to detain him, to put him on the ground like that, to put their knee on him, to hit him, it's just devastating." In separate comments to ESPN, Rosenhaus said that Hill was okay physically but mentally very distraught by the situation, adding, "Tyreek has told me over and over he's a big supporter of police. He was telling the police there, I want to be a police officer in the future. But this is crazy, I've never seen anything like this." Hill's teammate also placed in handcuffs. A second Dolphins player, Calais Campbell, was also handcuffed when trying to discuss the situation with officers at the scene, according to police. Speaking to ESPN on Monday, Campbell, a 17-year NFL veteran, recalled how he arrived at the scene of his teammate's detention and attempted to defuse the situation. The defensive tackle said he got out of his car with his hands up and approached the police officers, explaining, "I'm a friend of his, Hill. I don't know what's going on here, but I think the situation is definitely unnecessary." Campbell said he was told to leave, with an officer threatening to tow his car if he didn't go away. "I told him I will stand where you want me to stand. You tell me how far I need to back up, and I'll back up, but I'm not leaving the scene," Campbell recounted. "This is my friend here. I'm here to support him. I'm not leaving." Campbell celebrates the Dolphins' win over the Jaguars. After not vacating, Campbell, who is in his first season with the Dolphins, said the officer told him he was under arrest and put Campbell in handcuffs. The six-time Pro Bowler said Dolphins tight end Jonnu Smith was also at the scene as Hill pleaded with both teammates, "Don't leave me. Don't leave me." Campbell told ESPN he was thankful he was there to support Hill. "These situations can escalate quickly. We see it so many times in America where these things go completely bad. This is a big opportunity for us to use this platform to combat police brutality that happens. This situation could have been a whole lot worse had we not been there." Police union says Hill was not cooperative. The local police union has defended the actions of the officers involved. Upon being stopped, Mr. Hill was not immediately cooperative with the officers on scene who, pursuant to policy and for their immediate safety, placed Mr. Hill in handcuffs, Stedman Stahl, president of the South Florida Police Benevolent Association, said in a statement to CNN. Mr. Hill, still uncooperative, refused to sit on the ground and was therefore redirected to the ground. Once the situation was sorted out within a few minutes, Mr. Hill was issued 2 traffic citations and was free to leave. In this case, while we will wait for the investigation to run its course, based on what we know, we stand with the actions of our officers but look forward to further open communication moving forward, Stahl added. Hill and Jalen Waddle celebrate Hill's third-quarter touchdown against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, meanwhile, praised the immediate steps taken by the MDPD in the aftermath of the incident to investigate what occurred. In recent years our nation has confronted important conversations on the use of force, And the internal review process will answer questions about why the troubling actions shown in public video footage were taken by the officer, Levine Cava said on Instagram. We will continue to keep our community informed about this process, and findings will be made available critical to maintaining the public trust that MDPD has earned with our community. I look forward to learning more from the internal review process and to updating the public as the review concludes. The Dolphins are back in action at home on Thursday when they face their AFC East divisional rivals, the Buffalo Bills, at Hard Rock Stadium.